coming right there.
Oh, here we go. We're getting ready to start. Tactical Rifleman, Tactical Tuesday, Tactical Nation. How you guys doing? Guess who I am? I'm the boss tonight. Carl's not here. Everybody stand up and cheer. Carl's not here. Carl's not here. Steve's in charge. We're going to do some crazy things tonight. How about it, Australia? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Can you hear me? Test one, test two. Nick, man. Okay, guys. Happy Tuesday, June 6, 2023. And we got a great show for you tonight. We're going to have so many guests coming at you and so many different subjects. I've got Travis Rolfe, the man when it comes to body armor. Any question, any thought, any idea, any concern you've ever had on body armor, how it started, how it grew, and the latest technology from just, concealable armor to full, straight out, zombie nation invasion, Travis is the man. And we're going to have Kim Bree with us tonight, former 5th Group Master Sergeant, custom knife maker. He's going to show you guys some wonderful new things he's working on. We're going to have Ray Hodge here tonight, Red River Tactical, Kydex holsters, Kydex sheaths, Kydex anything. Out of Clarksville, Tennessee. We're going to have the great Yahoo himself, Randall Rawhide Worst, here tonight to talk with you guys about former operations during Operation Urgent Fury and the design of a 300 Win Mag semi-automatic sniper rifle. And I know some of you guys are going to look and say, oh, see, we can get semi-automatic 300 Win Mag sniper rifles. Yes, 2003. You guys have to remember during Somalia, that was 92, 93. There wasn't a lot of up-caliber systems out there in 300 Win Mag that were semi-automatic. And I'll get into that as we go along when we get to Randy. But we're going to start the show off with Travis Rolfe. That's Rolfe, as in R-O-L-P-H. Travis, step in. And we shall give you a mic, brother. And I guess this is the time where we'll give a shout out to our sponsors. And the sponsor for today's show is USCCA. Thank you guys at USCCA. You're always there to support us, and we appreciate it like you wouldn't believe. And I know Carl is appreciate you guys doing this, and the Tactical Rifle Nation is working with you.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Instead of just lip syncing it?
Yeah. So, this is Travis Rolfe. This is my brother from another mother. Travis, we served together for years in 5th Group. Travis looks like a Travis. Travis is a stone cold killer. You gotta appreciate what we have in America as far as our bedrock and our war fighters. I'll let Travis talk about any wartime experience he had. I'm not gonna pick a particular one. But we have a thing here on the show, Travis, that they like to know something that happened to you as far as your military time, where you just look at what happened and just shake your head and go, you can't make that shit up. Okay, so anything, as we go along, you don't have to make your brain explode, but as we go along, if there's something you want to talk about, you say, man, I was just shaking my head. I was just shaking my head. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. Tell us about you, your background, your company.
Well, I got plenty of experiences that I could tell you, good, bad, and ugly from war. I was lucky enough, or unlucky, however you look at it. I did 3 ground invasions and 2 revolutions in about 23 years. And starting with first Gulf War, invasion of Afghan, then Iraq in 3, 4, 5, and 6, Yemen in 3, Horn of Africa in 3, then also two other undisclosed places for revolutions later on. And throughout that time, there was always something stupid that happened or something bad that happened, but always some funny ones too. I stopped working for the Army in 2007 and then formed my company, which is Mayflower Research and Consulting. Then after that, about 10 years ago, I sold my company to Velocity Systems and became a partner in Velocity. I still maintain Mayflower for some consulting business, but all the product, and whether it's nylon kit or hard armor, soft armor, goes through Velocity Systems. And talking about body armor, dating back to like the early 2000s when everybody started getting issued it, in special operations, we had it prior to that. We had it from the late 90s or even mid 90s. And we were always such a small group that we were getting more of a higher end, cutting edge, higher specifications on it. So, fast forward to after the invasion of Iraq, when we're out running around taking down targets and adjacent units are running in 38, 40 pounds of armor before they even put on their first, magazine, frag, or any of the other ancillary equipment you have to carry. You'd see guys running around and the collars, throat protectors, side plates, low ab, lumbar spine protectors, and they'd be running literally 40 pounds of kit. And you'd look at us, and by then we were running straight plate carriers and a high cut helmet in a lot of cases. But at 38 years old, I was still running with 19-year-olds climbing over walls and jumping through windows, and I was still as fast or faster because those guys were wearing 40 pounds of kit before they put on their first magazine, and I wasn't. And when I moved into the business world, I kind of took that philosophy with me, and that's how I started my company, was trying to make things lighter. And that's pretty much where it went.
Travis,
So,
hold your horses.
Yep.
Guys, I know you guys are out there, and our moderators are telling us there's some technical glitches, so we're going to pause for the cause, and we'll get right back to you.
I'm trying to look at the bottom of these things. I'm trying to look at this over here too.
I know that really throws you off because you're trying to read. But whenever there's some super questions come up, okay. Whenever there's super questions come up, the moderators will let us know.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. So we're back. Still here with Travis Roth, former 5th Group, A15, Chief Warrant Officer, going over his battle experiences, his combat experience, which is extensive. I mean, even compared to mine and calls, and his body armor company and design company. Travis?
Yeah, so I don't know what was caught there or what was not with the glitch in the microphones, but basically the catalyst for starting my company was, as I'm trying to run around with 19, 20, 25-year-olds, cutting weight was everything I needed to do, and just to keep up.
No.
So when I formed my company, Mayflower Research and Consulting, that was my
it.
focus, was trimming weight off of everything that we did. And we initially started out with looking at materials, and then it was design. We were weighing every single pouch, every piece of it, and then that when I partnered with Velocity, they were doing the same thing in armor. And on the armor side, that's what we do, is we're looking at the lightest, best that we can do that still fits in the parameters of what the customer was requiring for it to stop. We've been doing it for a while now, about 15 years. and we're deeply embedded with the special operations community, both internationally and domestic, and pretty far around the world. I was just in Jordan last year. I was in Poland at the end of the year. This year, I've already been overseas as well, so it's pretty much worldwide. What questions do you guys got? I can't keep up on this reading thing. But if you missed the beginning, I was lucky enough in my career that I did 3 wars and 2 revolutions, and throughout that, it kind of it numbs your opinion on a lot of things, but it also heightens your awareness on a lot of things, and not only everyday things, but battlefield type stuff, where you just get hyper focused on what you're doing. And I kind of took that from what I did for years and years, getting paid by Uncle Sam, into when I started the business. And I was having a discussion earlier today with a friend of mine who just started a gun manufacturing company, and he's learning all those pitfalls right now about starting a small business and going from zero and not taking anybody's money to do it. And it's the pitfalls are great, the rewards are great if you succeed, but there's a whole lot of pitfalls along the way, and a lot of them have to do with paying your taxes correctly or not. Yeah, because if you don't, you'll go to jail and you'll be broke. It's accountability, it's marketing, it's sales, it's designing products, and it's doing it without taking anybody else's money to try to do it. And that's I had that long lunch discussion with a friend of mine today, and it's daunting. And he stepped into it at about 56 years old, decided he wanted to form a company because he's bored, and but he's got enough life experience that I'm pretty sure he's going to make it succeed. So you'll see his guns coming out on this channel probably later in the year. And he's got a pretty good tester in his cabal, somebody who might shoot for the AMU. So
absolutely incredible. So let's talk about
let's see.
Let's start with concealable body armor. Everybody knows there's different levels, 1, 2, 3, 3A. You want to go through that for us?
Yeah. So there's different ratings for armor, and what you'll see on the civilian market is generally what's being sold to law enforcement, and most militaries don't follow it. Some of the international do, and that's National Institute of Justice. And that came around in the 70s when there was no standard for body armor. It was just a matter of, hey, mine stops this, and there was no verification process to validate that claims from companies were actually correct. So NIJ for the longest time, looked at it from a law enforcement perspective and used only a very low number of typical rounds that were seen in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then, in the 90s and early 2000s, they started to address the, proliferation of so much more, the different types of 5.56s out there, the different type of AK rounds that are being imported. And so the NIJ did a relook and put out a new standard called the 06 standard, where it also addressed a lot of shortcomings in weather testing, heat testing, leaving your body armor in the trunk of your car throughout the summer. It's superheated, cooled at night, superheated, and it goes through that cooling and heating cycle so many times that they wanted to address to see if that's going to work. And same thing for cold weather temperatures. If you sweat in it every day, is it still going to work? And so generally, when you're looking at your rating system, you've got 3A is the most common. There's level 2, 2A and 3A for soft armor. And some law enforcement might still be wearing 2A. Generally, it's all 3A now. What you see on the military side is more, it's been more worked on creating a barrier against fragmentation. So you'll see a 3A vest that's frag rated, and it's usually tested within either U.S. Army standards or USASOC standards or SOCOM standards. They kind of blur those a little bit in there. The other side of the spectrum you'll see, though, is non-NIJ tested armor. My company generally doesn't test the NIJ with a couple exceptions, and that's for plates that we specifically market to law enforcement or civilians, because it does have a a comfort rating that most law enforcement departments will accept and most civilians understand, and that's National Institute of Justice. What we generally test to is a different military standard that's not public, and that one is more in depth with conditioning, exposure, hot, cold, some fluid exposures, and some different shot patterns, and test the different rounds depending on the threat level of the plate. You generally don't see those standards published just because the end users don't want them published, but in our minds, it's a better testing protocol. It just doesn't translate well to law enforcement and some federal agencies because the NIJ is their standard. Military-wise, though, it does translate because it addresses a lot of the rounds that are seen on the battlefield and not on the streets. And that's where you start getting into 7.62 by 39 BZI, M855A1, certain rounds like that you just don't see floating around yet. Or, with all the Russian import bans, bans on ammunition coming from other countries, if you find an AK-BZI round, you're pretty lucky. And we have a hard enough time finding enough of it to test with. So, and there's some unique 7.62 by 39 mild steel core rounds that we test to that we also have a hard time getting, that because they're on the banned list for import. But those are the rounds that are encountered overseas, not domestically. So,
okay, Michael Johnson asked, what recommendation does Travis Rolfe or Velocity Systems have for civilian body armor that's not terribly expensive?
So the way body armor works is it's all based on technology, and you can get two threat similar plates for completely different cost, and it all comes down to thickness and weight. And generally when it's heavier and slightly thicker, it's because it's an older technology. It's not a bad technology, it's just been superseded with newer technology, that with newer technology comes R&D cost and development cost, research and development cost. And that's what drives up the prices. And usually, those prices will come down when it's sold more in bulk. Unless it's a very specialty ceramic, then it's just, it's less available, so the prices are high. So what I would do if you're looking for body armor for yourself is I would look at what threat protection level you want and then what your budget is, and then go to a reputable manufacturer. You can find, and I'm not going to name any of them, but you can find some stuff that basically is selling stuff at Walmart prices. And what you have to evaluate is how much is your life worth.
Exactly. And that was one of the points I was going to bring up when Michael Johnson, you said inexpensive. And I understand where you're coming from. We all have a budget. There are some people who have, better budgets than most average Americans. But again, when it comes to gear, hardware, accessories, this day optic versus that day optic, especially when you start talking about body armor. And I see so many guys out there that put money in a firearm, and their optic cost is more than the firearm. Okay, the firearm is the main part of the home defense, self-defense system. You can put two, pieces of stick on a shotgun and hit the target, versus saying, I'm gonna spend all this money on optics. So body armor is one of those subjects that I always remind all the watchers out there, bet your life, okay? It's not, what's the best ammunition load? What's the best projectile? Should I have bonded? Should I have polymer tip? Yeah, I got all that, but when it comes to body armor, it's like, body armor, bet your life. So keep that in mind when you set your budget. You might have to, spread it out a little bit, but that's just something I want to hammer in. Always have a knife, always have a light, have good body armor.
And the other thing with body armor is you have to treat it like it's life support equipment. Case in point, years ago, I had a customer come back to us and, mad, and basically, to paraphrase it, he said, I used my plate carrier one time at the range and it literally fell apart. And I said, okay, well, maybe we had a manufacturing defect. Maybe one of the sewers had a bad day. So send me photos of what fell apart. So he sends me a picture, and you can clearly see through on his shoulder strap, an entry point and an exit point in the nylon with powder burns. So what he did was he used his body armor as a sandbag on the range, and not understanding muzzle awareness or height of sight over barrel, he shot through the shoulder strap on his body armor. That's not how you treat your body armor. It's not a sandbag. And we had an old saying in the Army was that, to you it's your stuff, but to other people it's your shit. So when they look at your kit bag on the ground thrown at the back of the deuce and a half, they're like, hey, let me grab your shit for you. And they literally throw it into the back of the truck. Well, your life support equipment is in there, be it that your armor, your helmet, your nods mount, maybe your nods in a padded case, all of that. And if you had flotation, if you were doing over water,
comms,
all of that, yeah, your radios, you could break your antenna mount off your radio. And you can't treat your life support equipment like that. So when you go out and spend your money and you make the decision of where you want to go and you spend, whether it's $500, $1,000, or $3,000 on a set of armor, treat it as its life support equipment because it'll last you. It's the same thing that goes with your rifle. If you put $3,000 into a rifle, don't go to Walmart and buy a $40 case for it and then get pissed off when your scope mount breaks. It is what it is. It's life support equipment.
Yep, it's a shout out Radcliffe. Louisville, Radcliffe, Kentucky. Where you at, Vince? Someplace in Virginia.
So let's see, what do we got questions-wise over here?
Yes, you can buy velocity systems. So the civilians, you can buy your...
Yeah, so for armor...
What's your website?
It's velsys.com. And for velocity, the way we do it is we sell through our dealer network. And it's purely a logistical reason. We would prefer, as the actual manufacturer of both our nylon and the majority of our armor, is to sell it in bulk to either agencies or to our dealers. When you start talking on our part where we're dealing with high-end armor, like our concealable armor that we make for several customers, it runs in about the retail in about the $4,000 range for a set of plates and a carrier. We don't want to put $500,000 of that on the shelf. For multiple reasons. One, it's literally coming out of our pockets to put that money on the shelf. The other one is, inevitably, we will have stacks of armor on the shelf and we'll get somebody who wants an extra large or a small, and they'll go, well, I need it tomorrow. I'll be like, sorry, we don't have that type of armor in a small, and we're not gonna do another run of that armor for 6 to 8 weeks. And then you've got to go through the production process on top of that, and they don't want to hear, hey, well, I don't want to wait 10 weeks or 12 weeks or 16 weeks for armor. So we would prefer to sell it through our dealer network, who does stock it because that's their business model. Just like they're stocking, their normal, whether they're selling weapons, accessories, kit, clothing, etc. Hopefully that answers that. The majority of our armor is not based around the everyday person's use, and that's solely based off of the threat analysis that's going into them and the cost. We're trying to push that edge on what ceramics we're using, what type of compressed polyethylene, how it's compressed, etc. And with that comes high R&D cost, high manufacturing cost, especially with inflation right now. Some of our stuff is pretty pricey. And it's I probably wouldn't be able to afford it if I didn't work there. Bottom line.
Okay. So Phil Wilson asked, where can you buy 10 hit plus plates?
10 hit of what? 50 cal?
That's the question right there.
I don't know anybody on the market, anybody reputable, that's offering a 10 hit plate. And if you get hit with 10 rounds in the plate, you're doing something wrong. And I've had friends get shot point blank, multiple rounds in the chest.
You're not doing this right here. You're not. Hey, weave and bob, man. Once you take number one, weave and bob.
I mean, you're wearing a plate that is that big. If you get a PKM gunner that can hold that plate, if you get a PKM gunner that can hold on you directly on that plate, you're fucking dead. Because that guy's really good. And he's probably going to transition to your face if you're not going down. And to answer that question, I don't know anywhere you can get a 10 hit guaranteed by the manufacturer plate.
Yeah. Like you said, if you take 10 hits, brother, wow.
Yep.
Wow. Because, I mean, for one thing, you got to realize body armor prevents the projectile from penetrating into your soft tissue and your organs and your bones and causing long-term damage or very quick damage called death. Okay? So if you took a hit, you're going to know it. I mean, you know, it's not like say I went on one mission, I took 3 hits. Now I want to go on another mission, I took 4 hits. No, that's not how it works. You go on a mission, you take hits on your plate, you put in new plates on the next mission. And I understand that you guys are more about cost. If I take a hit in a plate, like Travis said, that's life support system. Okay, you saved your life, so that plate is now subject for being replaced.
Because what happens when you get hit in the plate, with the exception of steel, and steel has its limitations as to what it'll stop, and for various reasons. But when you get hit in a ceramic plate or a polyethylene plate, the plate is doing 2 things. One, it is physically stopping that bullet from penetrating and going into your body. But second, it's mitigating the back face deformation against your body. Because back face deformation is basically that energy transfer that's coming out of the back of the plate, and generally accepted right now is 44 millimeters. And what you're doing is you're keeping that back face deformation from cracking that sternum, from cracking your ribs, from stopping your heart. So that plate's doing those 2 things. Well, when that plate takes a hit on it, it's now penetrated in that spot. That bullet's in there, it's trapped. But now you just created a really weak point in the plate. So if you look at a manufacturer and they guarantee multi-hit, so they guarantee 3 hits, or they'll guarantee, I've seen 6 hits. I've never seen 10 hits for a reason. What happens is that when they test that, they'll take the plate and they'll shoot the plate all over the place, and they'll try to hit it so that it's, you know, roughly about 1.5 inches, 2 inches apart, unless the plate is spec'd for something different. Because what's happening is you're creating weak points in the plate for those follow-on rounds to penetrate through. So if we say we have a multi-hit plate, we're trying to get that down to about a 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch gap on the plate. And then it also depends where it hits. Does it hit right on the apex, which is the hardest point of the, and that's the curvature of the plate? Because if it hits on that apex, it has a tendency, it can snap it. So that's where your first round in testing is always on the apex, to try to make sure that your plate is up to stopping that first round, and then we'll transfer it out to an edge shot somewhere else on the plate, and we'll move them around to make sure that the entire plate can stop what it's supposed to stop.
You got a shout out from Jay Johnson up in the UP.
I saw that.
And yes, that's Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Jay, I know you say you wish you were here. We wish you were here. Randy, Jay says hello. Jay says hello from Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
So Stephen Rogers said, do you think expiration date on body armor is valid? Would it still stop around? Okay, honestly, we have no idea where the expiration date came from. At some point, somebody put 5 years on, and all of the insurance companies that insure armor companies have stuck to that 5-year mark. Europe is trying to transition to a 10-year mark. Is the plate still good? Possibly, but it all depends on a lot of factors. How did you treat your plates? Were your plates stored in a Sealand container for 5 years in some Middle Eastern country going through extreme temperature changes? So there's a lot of questions. Most of the countries that are going to a 10-year are putting in place an inspection system at the 5-year mark, where they'll say, okay, at 5 years, we're going to do a visual inspection. At 6 years, we're going to do an ultrasound. And they'll do this now on an annual basis afterwards. So if they do find any cracks, fissures, or any weak points that the plate's just, maybe been broken from being dropped, that, then they'll take it out and they'll exchange it. I know my second combat deployment was Afghanistan, 2001 or 2002. We came back from that deployment. We had been issued the Spear armor about 6 months prior to that, and we sent it to Lexington Bluegrass Depot and had it x-rayed. And then if it had cracks in the x-ray, it went to ultrasound. We had about a 30% failure rate from one combat deployment, and that was cracks in the armor. That wasn't shot, that wasn't being blown up, that was cracks from hard helicopter landings, falling on rocks, bags getting dropped, falling with your armor on. So the amount of years that is still going to work, yeah, it's all depends on how it was treated. If it sat on a shelf in a cool, dry place for, its shelf life, then yeah, possibly it'll still work longer. But nobody will commit to a long term without inspecting it. Let's see what. See if I can read something else here. How's it going, Don? Let's see. That's a big failure rate. Yeah, so when we failed on those plates, that included the workup prior, and then also, because most of us were spread either through Kuwait, East Africa, then we all came together in Masira Island, Oman, and then we jumped forward into Kandahar the day it fell. So yeah, the plates went through some hard use, but that was a lot of hard landings and some falls off of cliffs and stuff into rocks. So let's see. Can accidental dropping of the plate have an effect on serviceability? So plates are tested or should be tested for droppage. Now, that's within reason. There's a mechanism in place when you do a certain military units testing or a certain elements testing that it replicates a fall from about 5 or 6 feet. That replicates being dropped off the back of a truck or out of a guy's arms or taking a tumble in a hallway or downstairs. If a plate is dropped out of its carrier, like directly on the edge, yeah, it'll definitely affect it. If it's in the carrier and it's covered with pouches and magazines and bombs and all the other good stuff you have on your carrier, then it's padded. There are people that are using skeletonized carriers. There's a good company that makes an excellent plastic one that is bent and shaped to the plates, but it was built for maritime use where they didn't want any water absorption. They wanted instant draining, so when you're climbing from the waterline onto a ship, etc. That's probably not the best thing to wear for general purpose where your plates can be damaged on the corners. It all depends on how it was dropped. Let's see, ceramic plates, yes, correct. Steel plates, we've sold a ton of steel plates, a lot of them in different countries to certain elements of our government that were outfitting local forces. And the reason they would do that is because they couldn't mandate or they couldn't track how they were handled. And they stopped the rounds that they needed them to stop. But what you had was, a plate would get worn by one guy during the day and then he would hand his vest over to another guy at night. And so there was no ownership of it. There was no treating it as life support. So steel plates are a lot more durable in that aspect. But steel will only stop certain things. It will do no API. It won't do any steel penetrators until you start getting so thick that it's uncomfortable to wear. So steel plates have their limitations, but they also have their advantages, especially when you're using partner forces or host nation forces with them. So metal plates, donut eater, we just addressed that. Let's see. Let's see what other questions you got going on here. Can you see any more up the screen that I can't see? Okay, I think they've all rotated up. So what other questions you have on armor? Otherwise I'll get Steve to come back up and you can talk knives and guns and other cool stuff. All right, it's all you, Steve. I think we're not getting any more questions on armor, so.
Well, not just armor. We could talk about shaking my head moment.
Okay,
in combat.
Here's a fucked up one for you.
Boom, F-bomb.
So, went into Iraq on the 04 rotation, and we basically our mission statement as a team was read the human terrain and figure out who is worth the shit supporting. Because there was nothing but the Iraqi National Guard, local police forces, and no credible army had been rebuilt yet. And everybody was infiltrated with who knows who. So we're on the ground a week, and we go to the police station. They're going to go arrest some guys who had captured and tortured some of their police officers about an hour north of our city. So we hop in a van and a pickup truck in their uniforms, 6 of us plus an interpreter, and we roll up. First thing we did was recover a huge weapon cache, a little bit of ammo shooting, or a little bit of rounds coming both ways. Roll all that up, about 2 deuce and a halfs full of booty that we took back. Well, we dispatched a platoon of Iraqi policemen to go arrest these guys separate, about 10K away. Well, they couldn't be trusted with a cell phone, so one of them immediately called ahead. Bad guys were waiting for them on the target, and they got ambushed. Immediately start calling for help. So we load up in our van and our pickup and race up to them, and immediately we're under everything fire: Sager missiles, incoming mortar rounds, PKM fire, and we're in their uniforms, plate carriers, helmets. We had to move a click up. Luckily we parked the truck in the van back and moved up towards the target about 1 kilometer, and at that point we're getting eaten up. So brought in F-16s, and I was running down the road with my guys in a diamond around me and at a VS-17 panel over my head with F-16 overhead marking our forward trace with rounds skipping off the cement all around us. So we get up to adjacent to the target building. We got all of our dead and wounded back, and then dropped 4 500-pounders in the building. The 2 500-pounders hit the building. We killed about 45 people in the building. Then the second 2 500-pounders landed about 75 meters in front of us because the target was 150 meters at danger close. The second 2 rounds landed. Luckily, we were in a little mud hut because it ate it, but we all ate it TBI-wise. Then we got all of our dead and wounded off, which was 9 dead and 26 wounded Iraqis. Then on the hour-long drive back to Al-Qut, where we were living, the lead portion of the convoy got ambushed with all the dead and wounded in it and took more dead and wounded. And then we were running with a Predator overhead with a couple Hellfires on it, and shooting up cars out of our way to get back to the house. So about went to the police station about 6 p.m., got home about noon the next day, and luckily none of us got hit. The other 5 guys with me shot every round of ammo they had. I shot 5 rounds, but I controlled all the air. That was one of those, we're 7 days into the deployment going, oh shit, this is gonna be a long fucking deployment. and it was, because a week later our city got overrun, and first night we empty Spectre, 2 of them in simultaneous orbit overhead, and shot every round of link ammo we had that day. 40 Mike, 240 and 50 cal. So high adventure back in the wild, wild west days of the wars. So, but
That's
see.
Good. That's funny. That's good. Now, a couple of shows ago, I shared one of my shaking my head moments with you guys about when we were in Iraq, and I was working the coalition forces, and we saw these Iraqis, and we went to capture them. And on the way back, I was on American at the time because I was running sniper ops that night, and we were on our way back when they were spotted. And the coalition commander, I told him, I said, hey, we got to disarm these guys. And so I had a side mission, because we had this problem with this one area, and we kept saying that we can't get the fighters in because of smog. It's like smog all the time. So I wanted, since I'm out now, I wanted to go over there and check it out. So when I go over, I got my 2 guys left and right on my security team. And then I got, the coalition sniper, and then I got myself. And I'm running a M16 and a bolt gun, 3 Win Mag. So as we approach this area where we hadn't been able to get to, they had small brush, kind of like out the Midwest. You got a lot of sagebrush around. So about, 50 yards out, I got down and started crawling up to the brush so I could look down in there, because I knew there was some enemy activity down there. So when I got to the bush where I could look down inside, and it was probably 70, 80 feet down into this little wash draw thing, and there was smoke generators. That's where all the haze was coming from. They were running smoke generators. So I see all these Iraqis going about their activities, and one of them stops and looks up toward where I was behind this bush, and he points out to a couple other guys, and they turn and they look up the hill toward the bush, and I'm thinking to myself, man, sniper stalking operations, I got, items in front of me double. That causes a human eye to focus on the first one, then the second one is even harder, and I'm behind the second set, and then 6 or 7 guys started gathering together, and they grab rifles, and they keep looking up. I said, maybe something's reflected. Then I turn around, and the 4 guys that were running my security were standing up, looking down into the draw, and I'm just shaking my head like, you have got to be kidding me. And that was the longest walk of my life. It's about 2 clicks back to where we get through the minefield, and every step I took, I could feel a mortar round coming in. I was like, man, I know it's coming soon, but I couldn't sprint. I got on this body armor, got a big heavy 300 Win Mag bolt gun on my back, and the old, what do you call it? The adjutant walk. I got the adjutant walk going on. I'm walking. I said, man, I know that artillery is coming. I know those mortar rounds are coming. But we made it back safely. But, I asked the guys, I said, what were you guys doing? They said, well, Steve, we couldn't see. I said, just crawl closer. Don't stand up. And they were like, yeah, Steve, you are right as always. You are right as always. So that's my additional shaking my head moment. So anything else for Travis before we bring up?
So there was one question back about polyethylene. Polyethylene has its uses. This plate right here is super lightweight, 1.5 pounds, compressed polyethylene. Polyethylene doesn't stop steel penetrators or any type of AP. It's great if your threat is, your threat's going to be ball. So M193 5.56, Type 56 AK, which is 7.62 by 39 mild steel core. You can get polyethylene plates up to M80 ball, but if you have the other thing you have to think about is not only what the enemy threat is, but also fratricide. We used to always joke when we would be, operating in somebody else's battle space, and we're running from our gun trucks to the black door and the sea of black doors, and we've got security or the battle space owner on the top of a Bradley. That's an 18-year-old kid scared to shitless on a 240, and if he turns that gun on you and burns you down, you're screwed. So fratricide is a thought, and if you're wearing this for work-wise and you're carrying green tip, you might want to put something on that's going to stop green tip. The polyethylene is great for what it's made for. It's just not made for steel penetrators. But if you want super lightweight, polyethylene's the way to go, and it'll stop AK. So,
yeah, especially when you stack it on the door, you got to keep in mind that not everybody is as experienced as everybody else. Especially when you're dealing with law enforcement agencies. If you have an incident like we've had, the incident here in Nashville at the church, at the school, the Catholic school, you got 6 or 7 different police precincts, sheriff's department. I mean, everybody's showing up, and you don't know who's wearing what rated vest, what type ammunition they're using, and you always got to keep in mind. Again, if you saw the video where the guys are running through the hallways, and you got different agencies going back and forth, and most of them have pistols, then you have the guys with the carbines. You got to be careful that you don't have fratricide the way Travis has just explained.
One thing I'll address here. So DH, I have polys that are rated for M855A1. So there's different types of polyethylene plates. There's straight polyethylene, which is what I have in front of me right here, and then there's what's being very common right now are hybrids. It's a very lightweight, high-end ceramic with a polyethylene backside on it to mitigate the back face deformation. So take a look at your plate and see if it's 100% polyethylene or if it's a hybrid plate, because what you're finding now, if you've got a plate that's in about the 3 to 4 pound range that's rated for green tip or M855A1, etc., it's probably a hybrid plate or a very high-end ceramic. So,
Is there?
Yeah, Tommy Salter, manufacturer in Houston, has a video of level 4 plate stopping 50 cal. what is it stopping it against? Is somebody wearing it when it's stopping it? Because the back face deformation, even if it's capturing that 50 cal, the back face deformation will probably cave your chest in.
Yeah, that's like somebody hitting you in the chest with a sledgehammer.
Yep.
Times two. Okay, guys, we're going to get ready to switch over. So, any questions for Travis? Travis will still be here, and I'll shout at him if anything pops up. You guys want to hit him up about something else? Travis, thank you, sir. Yep. Always good to see you.
Set problem.
You gotta come over here. And coming up next, we're going to have Miss Sarah Taze.
Come here.
Come on. Come on.
Don't be terrified.
It's just like your video games. So, guys, we've got Miss Sarah and her daughter Lauren, and Miss Sarah is one of our local 2A firearms store owners. She runs a firearms store, and she can explain a little bit more, called Gun and Knife Country in Oak Grove, Kentucky, right across the street from Gate 6 at Fort Campbell. And I, myself, and my son Brian, we've been, customers of Sarah's store since, I don't remember, it's got to be like in the 90s. So I'm going to let Sarah talk about her store, and Miss Lauren can pipe in anytime she wants to.
Go ahead. So we're right across the street from Gate 6 of Fort Campbell.
Lauren, say hello, Tactical Rifleman Nation.
This is my daughter Lauren.
God, you should have seen her before she came up and got on camera. She was like, yo.
I know. And at the store, she actually helps out customers.
And your customers are watching you.
And shows guns and sells guns and everything, which is awesome. But we're at 15136 Fort Campbell Boulevard next to G's Pancake House and the Oak Grove Post Office. We have just under 1,000 guns in stock at any time. We're a Class 3 dealer. Ammo, holsters, knives, lots of Benchmates. What else? Come on.
A little one with green hair hanging around.
A little one with green hair hanging around pretty much
like
all day long.
Like the Boston Celtic fan.
God, I hope not. You're not a Boston Celtics fan, are you? No, good. I'm trying to think. We pretty much hire all veterans as well. Like the two guys that I've got working for me right now, one's medically retired and the other one just retired from the military about a year ago. He did 23 years in the military, so we've got guys that actually know what they're talking about when they come in, and they can basically help you with anything that you need. Very family-friendly store, too, and dogs are welcome anytime.
Right. Yeah, she's got the big Rottweiler running around.
Yeah.
My son Brian, he always takes
the
dog treats whenever he goes to the store, and the dog knows him. As soon as he walks in the door, the dog is like, oh yeah, that's my buddy.
Yeah, he loves the dog treats. And Lauren loves dogs, so we've always got him in there. No. She's scared to death.
As soon as she's walking away, she's going to say, oh, I should have said this. I wanted to say this.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the gun-loving public is watching you, Lauren.
Look, Sarah and Miss Lauren. Do you know who's Prepper 101? Prepper 101?
I don't know each and every one of them.
Oh, really? You're supposed to know all your people.
Carl knows almost all of them. I'm still learning. I'm still in the waiting process. Anybody got any questions for Lauren?
Best-selling EDC pistol. Right now, would probably be the Glock 43X or the SIG 365 TAC Ops. Yeah, that's the two pistols that we sell the most of right now. Unfortunately, no, you can't get a discount if you dye your hair green. What's your favorite pistol? They're wanting to know. What's your favorite pistol?
My Lar Grizzly, probably.
Yeah, she has a Lar Grizzly in 45 Win Mag. That's going to be her favorite pistol. She loves guns. Next favorite would probably be her HK P30 LS.
Probably.
And then here recently, we just got her a USP Expert 9mm.
I like my Beretta more though.
And then she's got a Beretta 92X Compact and the competition single action only. So she loves those.
Lauren, you've got a USP 9mm Expert?
Yeah.
I want a USP 9mm Expert, young lady. How dare you? How dare you? Can you shoot it?
Yes.
Can you handle it? I mean, can you make it run?
She can.
Huh? Can you make it talk? Huh? Talk to me.
She's not really into revolvers that much.
Shame on you.
I've got quite a few myself. Like I've got the Chiappa 357 Magnum that I really love. And then I've also got actually my birth year, 1982 Dan Wesson 44 Magnum. That was my dad's. So those are going to be like my two favorite ones. My favorite gun that I have is anything in 10mm. Like I have an original Bren 10 military and police. 10mm is my favorite.
Oh, I'm a big time Jeff Cooper 10mm fan.
Oh yeah, love my 10mm. The next one down is probably my Coonan 357 Magnum 1911 that I have.
I love it. I have a Conan.
Dan Coonan himself is the one that built mine, and I love it.
I had a chance to meet Dan Coonan at the SHOT Show one year. It's really cool.
I met him one year, and then the next year when my husband and I went, my husband had a special serial number put on mine. It's, can you cuss on here?
It's up to you.
Serial number is bitch 1, because he told me I was the number 1 bitch of the shop.
I love it.
So he had that special serial number put on there.
So you know what? Now that you said that, we're gonna have to give a picture of that serial number and post it on the show next time we have a show.
I will
We're
definitely
hoping
get
that
you
we'll have a show at Sarah's store one day, so we can all get a chance to, enjoy everybody there and give you a tour. It's a really beautiful store. I mean, they have a really great setup. It flows really well. You go right from, shotguns into the rifles, into the ARs and the semi-automatics, and then into the pistols, revolvers. I mean, it's just a wonderful place. They used to have a really nice Gatling gun there.
We did. The guy finally came and picked it up, though. That was actually a transfer that the guy left there for like 3 years, just to have people come and play with it. He wanted to get the patina on it from people gripping it and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that he could have something that looked kind of
Old,
old, but
kinda
new.
old?
Yeah, it was one of the new Colt ones.
3
that they
years?
had.
That's a lot of patina.
That was a lot of patina. I don't even know if he had actually even shot it yet. And then I have another child that works there as well. They're 21 years old, and they couldn't make it tonight because they're doing school, summer sessions for college. But I saw someone on there said that his nephew bought a 50 AE. Her favorite gun is a Desert Eagle 50 AE. She's been shooting one since she was 11, though.
Wow.
So my kids really like the big caliber guns. 700 PSS is an awesome gun. Lauren's actually got a couple of GA Precision sniper rifles herself. Mostly 260 and 308. And then her uncle's actually building her one right now. He does a little gun work in Clarksville. And yes, we have been selling a lot of the Glock 47s because Glock has come out and said that they're not going to be selling the 17s anymore. I don't know if you knew that or not.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Glock is discontinuing the Glock 17, so they're selling the 47s, which gives you the ability to have a 17, but be able to put a 19 size slide on there without the little overhang on the frame. So they're going to try to do like one whole frame for that now. And they
that's news to us, and normally, we're on top of anything coming from the 2A world, but maybe that's something that Carl knows. I shoot Glocks, especially with training, training with Carl, but my preference is 1911s and
Mine too.
revolvers. I am a revolver person.
I'm a 1911 person. I have over 52 of them personally. So it's like my favorite gun. And it's
Yeah, I've got my favorite, I got an STI 10 mil, and 6 inch.
So I've got a Staccato C9, that I just got a couple months ago, and I've already put like 10,000 rounds through it. Love it.
Woo! Oh, man, Carl might get jealous about that. I thought Carl was the one running the high round counts these days.
And then I've got 3 of the original STIs, 1 in 40 cal, 1 in 9mm, and a 45. And Lauren's still not going to talk. She likes the Glock 20s though too, the 10mm Glock. She likes anything big.
Howard Lincoln, he says, I got a 1863 Gatling gun, black powder, 45 caliber.
Oh, that's cool. That's really
That's
cool.
some work, black powder.
That's a lot of work for black powder.
Yeah, that's some cleaning.
The CZ pistols are amazing. I love the CZ P07 pistols. In fact, I just got one of those personally. The first time I shot it was the other day, and I was really impressed. That was like a new thing to me, is the CZ pistols. We've sold them forever, but we hadn't actually gotten to shoot them ourselves.
Lauren, we're counting down.
Counting down, baby.
You
You say something?
Say hello, Tactical Rifleman Nation.
Come on. No.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.
Definitely.
And we're definitely going to work on having a show at your store.
Yes.
I mean, it's literally like not even 10 minutes from, maybe 10, 15 minutes from here.
Yeah, it's like 12, I think, is with the traffic.
12 miles, yeah.
Yeah.
Right by the new Oak Grove Gaming Casino.
Yep, right in front of it.
So we can do a show at both places.
And sometimes when they have those big concerts, we get to open up the back door and hear them for free. So it's actually kind of cool.
That is. I mean, it's right there behind the property behind the store.
Yeah.
So thank you, Miss Lauren.
Say thank you.
We're going to have you on the show again.
Yes, definitely.
You got to change your hair color to Miami Heat red.
Well, she promised her Uncle Tim that she's not allowed to change her hair color to anything except a natural color for the next year. So this green, once it's gone for a little bit. So Uncle Timmy Cryer is not going to be very happy otherwise. It's going to get dyed big time.
Guys.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, guys. Coming up, folks. You've seen him before. You know him. You love him. You learn from him. Our very own Master Sergeant retired, Kim Breed. Custom knife maker.
Lies.
Knife maker.
It's all lies.
Known throughout the world. And as soon as he walked in the door, everybody's like, oh, Kim Breed. They start pulling out Kim Breed knives.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Who's that?
I've known Kim for 21 years. I don't have a Kim Breed knife.
We're
You
going
know?
to fix that.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
By
Mr.
the time the next one comes around, we'll fix that.
So what you got for us today, brother? Talk to us.
Hang on.
I know last time a lot of the of our viewers in the nation, a couple of them asked you questions about tomahawks, and I remember thinking you commented that you didn't particularly like to do tomahawks.
The traditional style tomahawks, because it's more involved when you got to drift a hole and it's everything like that. But what I do basically is I make a solid steel version. Got the little curved handle for throwing, but it would have an edge forged out basically like that. And on the back side, that can be forged out into a spike, it can be forged out into a hook, it can be forged out into a one-cliff blade, basically whatever you could come up with in your head. And the other one is just like a hatchet style. Stuff for your head.
Yeah.
So it really depends. This is my favorite style here because they throw very well. Because they're a curved handle. You can hold it like this, or you can choke up on it so you can do all your fine work.
So this would be what you would call
Axe, hatchet, whacker.
but I'm trying to think of the
Just
right
call it a
word.
whacker.
A right name for it's not a model, it's a
It's a pattern.
pattern. Yeah, okay, a pattern. That's what I was thinking.
That's the pattern that I start off with.
When you start off with the pattern like this, now is this one the steel that you would use?
Yeah, no. It'll be all steel. the whole thing will be cut out of 4-inch wide, 5160. Then it goes in. Then the head goes in the forge, and that's where I can forge this out to whatever shape, and I can forge this out to whatever shape. So you can basically custom design whatever head you want on it.
Okay. Yeah, but I guess this is this the final steel right here?
No,
Okay.
that's aluminum.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was thinking. I said, man, this is kind of light.
No,
for-
they aren't that light.
No,
Trust me.
I was
You
thinking the
can
same
knock
thing.
you can knock the daylights out of somebody with them. That's just a pattern.
Okay, now we got it straight.
Now we can get to the good stuff.
Oh, get into the good stuff.
Yeah, we get to the good stuff. We'll go from small to big. These here are called push pins, and that is orange and white, or white and black G10. Comes with an ulti-clip, little concealed carry, little knife. And
EDC.
basically, it is a push dagger.
I'm liking that. Oh my gosh.
Double edge, made out of Nitro V stainless steel. And these go usually right around $200.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. That is some beautiful
I'll let
work.
him play with it and see if he cuts himself. That one is sharp.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, TR Nation, take a look at that work.
I'll put it right between your
I want
index.
to see the handle. That's beautiful work.
Man, I'm getting dizzy looking at that. Steve, stop. Flashback.
Look at that. Good Lord. That is so. I like that. What do you think, TR Nation? I think we should throw these up on a bid one night.
Yeah.
See if anybody's interested.
Build a bunch of them.
Build some, put them to a worthy cause, some charity, and
Yep, pick the charity and I'll throw in a couple of push daggers.
push dagger, push dagger, push dagger.
And remember, they go just
Yeah.
like that.
I love push daggers. For one, they're easy to conceal because you don't have traditional handle on the backside, and man, that is nice. You know, I have a couple of cold steel push daggers,
Cold steel,
but I can tell with this one when you put it in between your fingers, the way he's got it set up around the grooves, I can feel it's a better feel to it. It's not wanting to go rock back and forth the way the cold steel.
If you get one
do.
that's got a skinny shank, it'll flip on you.
Yeah, I like the way he's done that. Ooch, ouch. What else you got for us? Oh, you keep talking. Let me double check.
Keep
I'm
talking.
not missing.
I like the way he does that. Just keep talking.
Hey,
He's good for that shit. Here, you do it.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Vince Arrington told me to tell you hello.
Oh, Vince, hey.
Yeah.
Vinny.
Vinny.
Vince Arrington, great guy. We had some fun. Quite a few times I can tell you stories.
Tell us
at
a
Air,
story.
At
We're
Air
here
Force
for
Base,
stories.
they used to call me and Vince Salt and Pepper because nobody else would go. So me and Vinny would go out together. It was great. We had
I bet it was.
Yeah, I'm
bet
going
it
to
was.
leave it at that.
Ah,
Yeah, we had
no
lots
shaking
of
my
fun.
hand moment to share.
No, we had fun. I'll put it to you that way.
Hey, were you at Lemoore Naval Air Station that year we went out? Battalion went out to California. We was doing those recons.
Probably.
And Ken Cantrell got into that big one over the NCO club.
Well, that was at the NCO club.
NCO
Cleared the
club,
NCO
yeah.
club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's a shaking my head moment.
The SPs are like, I ain't going in there. And then, because they showed up at the next morning's formation.
Yeah.
Who was it? Somebody hit somebody. He was wearing an SF ring and it left an SF crest right between the guy's forehead.
Yeah.
And that's what started it all. Who was there? Colonel Bowray at the time was there.
Was it?
I think it was
my
Bowray.
company sergeant major was Risto Numa.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
And so when the SPs finally caught Ken, now Ken Cantrell, he's out in Montana. Ken,
Yeah, I don't know what the hell to say about him.
When Ken is a stone cold K. I mean, he's stone. Ken's about 6'2", probably back then. He's probably about 215, 220,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
I mean, just massive. What we used to call back in Brunswick, Georgia, we used to call that cockstrong. Okay, he ain't lifting weights. He just cockstrong.
He's just big.
And Ken was an Indian.
Big boy.
And I didn't really pay attention a lot to that stuff people used to say, you can't let Indians drink liquor. Don't let Indians drink fire water. It's true.
As soon as he drank it, that was it. Done. Either get ready to fight, get your position, because it's coming. As soon as he drank whiskey.
It's about to go down. All I remember is he jumped up on the stage in the club. Everybody was dancing. That was disco days.
Let's go.
And he's like, this is like a squat. And just like an Indian, he goes, whoa!
Let's go. And that was
I was
it.
sitting
Off
at
the
table,
table.
and I heard it. I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Everybody grabbed their corners and fight to the middle.
My team sergeant was Bob Carpenters.
Yeah, Carpenters. Oh my God.
And he
Bob.
comes to the tent. He goes, I need you to come with me. I go, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I barely made it out alive. I'm trying to get some rest. He goes, they got Cantrell locked up at the SP station. We got to go get him. We get to the SP station, and these SPs are standing around with their riot shields in this little hallway where the cells are.
And he's blocked off.
So
in the back.
they tell us to come in. We walk down to the cell. The cell doors open. Kids squatted over an SP with the bottom pipe from a sink in his hand with blood on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm just shaking. And this before we even started to shaking my head. Shit. It's like, man, I don't know about this as a kid.
All right.
Kid, can you let him go? I mean, it's like he had a piece of meat and he wanted to eat it.
Just diffuse the situation. Yeah. Let's go. We got to go.
The SP said, if you take him away from
just
the jail, we'll forget anything happened tonight. I was like, that's a good deal.
Hey, there was a big count on that. A lot of SPs paid the price for that one. Anyways, next one I'm going to show you is already sold, but I had to bring it because it's a cool looking Damascus. This is called Zebra Damascus. It's got the same black and white G10, but the pattern goes straight up and down. Small clip point. As you can see, it's just about the right size for everything. Let me go at it this way.
Oh, that is.
Steve's gonna like this one, but you can't have this one.
Wow.
That one's already sold.
I look at something like this, and I always appreciate things that I can't do. That's why, I love to hear singing, like, people that can sing because I can't sing. And then I look at stuff like this right here, and to know that this wasn't done by a machine, that a human being actually did this. This is
my 8 little fingers and 2 thumbs. What kind of soda?
Absolutely beautiful TR Nation. Would you look at that? Oh my gosh.
50 layers of Damascus stacked straight up and then flattened out.
50 layers. 50 layers pounded into this.
Normally it's the other way around, flattened out.
Sarah. 50 layers of Damascus steel pounded into that.
You want to see this? She's a big knife person.
Is she?
Oh yeah. Look at that.
That's cute.
That's cute.
That's cute. That's cute.
That's a good, cute.
That's 50 layers of Damascus steel, hand beaten by this man to make and made that.
Your knives.
Oh, you do?
Oh, stop it! Oh, see,
I see. I love her already.
She's got 3 of Kimberly's knives.
I do. I love them, and I'm.
Wait a minute. Did you ever serve with Kimberly?
No.
Have you ever been down the range with Kimberly?
No.
Have you ever been in shaking my hand moments with Kimberly?
Nope.
Would you have 3 of his knives?
I have 3 of his knives.
And I have none.
And you have
None. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to live this one down.
You're really not. Mine were given to me by actual Green Berets.
Cool.
I liked them, and they gave them to me, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I found out that you were actually in Clarksville. And I was like, So I like you on Instagram, and I
Yeah.
actually think I watched you do that one the other day that you were showing over there. The big
Ah,
one.
yeah, the big
I
one.
watched that, and I was like, oh, this is beautiful. Does beautiful work.
Thank you.
Everybody needs a Kim Breed
Now,
knife.
is this Ray or?
Yeah. Everybody needs a Kim
Yeah,
Breed
everybody
knife.
needs a Kim Breed knife, right? It's nice.
Yeah.
Nice Kydex.
Kydex with ulti clip.
EDC holder. Yeah. You can have my knife and take it off my cold dead body. Is it a Kim Breed? I'll take it off while your body's warm. Yes, I will. What you got next, brother?
And this is the Breed Fighter right here.
I like that one.
Double edge, set up for either fencing grip, reverse grip if you want. It doesn't matter what it is. And these are the ones that I make the most out of. These, yeah, they're all over the world right now. So this one's very useful.
Dinosaur wants to know how many hours went into pounding that 50 layers of Damascus steel into a knife.
Actually, about 6 hours in the forge. So 3 hours one day and 3 hours the next day. Because I got to make the Damascus first, then I got to stack it up, let it cool. Make the Damascus, let it cool, cut it up in little pieces, and restack it back up this way, forge that back down, and then lay it flat, and then forge it out.
Wow.
So it takes time to build that
Oh,
billet.
yeah. I'm thinking weeks. You talking about hours.
No, it's hours. Just days, but when it's 90 degrees out or 80 degrees, it seems like freaking weeks.
This is nice. Oh, I love this one. Oh, this is a good on your tack belt. This is one of those knives where I like to have three, because one is none and two is one. Mm-hmm. And when you reach for it, you always want to reach for the same one, whether it's in your go bag or it's on your tack belt or wherever else on your body armor.
That's what
you
they put
always
in.
want to grab the same one, no matter what.
The new body armor now has got that Velcro strap, and they're putting them right there, so it's right there when you put your arm up. You just got to tell them what kind of handle you want.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
Some air fell down. The knife cut in the air. I had to catch it.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
2 pieces.
I got some air.
Look at that. I got handfuls of air. His eyes will get big on this one.
Stop the press.
Yeah. This
My
is
Lord.
San Mai. The outer layer is pure nickel in 1084.
Stop it.
And the
Stop
core
it.
is 80
Stop it,
CRV2.
Kim. Stop
I know.
it.
The handle is buffalo horn, and it has the butt handle, which looks
my
like a
gosh.
woman's butt. So that way you can always have a finger on it, however you want. But as you can see, it's a fairly long, 8.5-inch blade.
That is so beautiful. That is absolutely.
But the good thing is,
all your knives are beautiful, but that is.
the only time you can do this, it's not sharp yet because I don't have a sheath for it.
Oh wow. Oh my gosh. Feel that. Randy.
I think he's seen it already.
Has he?
Yeah, he was over there before.
That's okay. I want your comment. We'll talk about this knife. I need to go to the bathroom.
He just wants to get his hands on the butt. You see how Steve does that? He just slides it over. He's like, man, I gotta go do something here. I gotta go blow my nose here. I'm out of here.
Well, don't go around too fast. You guys, do they see this thing? You guys show this to them?
Yeah, I just showed it.
This is a serious fighting knife. I love the way it's made. Look at the size of my hand. And that thing fits in it. That's perfect. That's a slasher and a cutter and a sticker, man, right there. Yeah, when I learned to fight with 2 knives. So even if I had this one,
One reverse, one forward.
so I can block. I got damage to both my thumbs, one from a pool cue and the other one from a broom handle, blocking when I was a cop. And I used my knives. This is beautiful. Do you see the work he did on this thing? This thing is gorgeous. You should feel it and the balance of it. Holy crap, man.
It's a nice knife. And it's up on my Instagram site. If you go to Kimbreed 1911, it's there. And you'll see me etching it starting from beginning to end.
The craftsmanship he does and the finishing stuff is absolutely perfect. You guys can't see it, but it's absolutely perfect. There's no flaws in it. I can't even do that when I'm brushing my teeth or rolling a cigarette, man. Damn. It's beautiful.
I appreciate that, brother.
He makes good stuff. He's got, did you show him that little one?
Which one, the push dagger?
Yeah. This one here.
This one or this one?
This one. This is the one I'm not gonna have him do Damascus, but when I get back from Montana, that's what I'm gonna have him make me, but not the Damascus. Look how, like I showed you, look how big that hand is, and that fits in there. Look at that, and that's it. I carry it every day. I just lost mine, not one he made, but I just lost one. So I'm gonna have him make me one, replace it, and that's my everyday carry and use it. I do 1,000 things with that.
Screen and where the knife was at, I got cut. Way to go, Rob. Steve, a knife guy too. Hey, who's supposed to be reading this stuff? Because I can't do both.
Reading this stuff off.
Yeah, I can't do it. Well, just as a quick thing, and I do this on my Instagram feed. As y'all can tell, you can see the SF tattoo. But when you get too much hair to it, all you got to do is go like that, and then you trickle it down like that. That's all you have to do. And that just shows you they're sharp. Well, this one is anyways. Cool.
Yeah.
And 1, 2, and he said something about the green wash, but I didn't know. Again, this is the Breed Fighter. And just so you know, Steve is going to get one similar to this. He might get it right in the ass, but he's going to get one of these. He's been bugging me. Well, I appreciate it.
You already talked about your axes and stuff like that?
Yeah, if you want to talk about the hand, were you talking about the handle where it comes down?
Now I use the one that has more of a beard on it, but the way you did that, still I can bring my hand in, especially when you're fleshing meat off and stuff like that, and doing fine cuts, working, making tools. That position with your hand, the way you made that handle, enables you to do that. And then back here, if you're using it, it gives you pretty good strength and balance for cutting.
Hopefully by next time we do one of these, I'll have one.
These are a pain in the keister to make, man. I can't imagine how tough that is.
Well, no, it's hard to grind them because when you're grinding axes, you're coming around, you got that handle. And if you go the wrong way, the handle hits the belt and it flings the axe and comes back and it'll get you.
That's a great design. That's my favorite there.
Cool. Hey. All right, Steve, you ready?
Whatever it is.
Is he gonna get back in here?
I like the way he says that. Keep talking, man.
Yeah, I don't know where
my pants are floating.
Are they asking any questions? Where do you do that? Rob, I think Randy is my dad.
I want to.
Rob, bite me, Rob.
Okay, Paul American would like to know what body armor you would recommend for your child's backpack.
Oh,
Travis.
They actually make that.
Yeah, no. Got a question for you.
Awesome Sharp. I get email signed.
Trying to get hold of Travis.
If you're looking to get one, hit me up on Instagram, Kimbreed1911. You can order. Shoot me a DM. You can order knives through there. Hang on.
They're asking. Kimbreed
Custom, right there.
There's an old one.
Travis.
Still using.
Travis, Paul American would like to know what body armor you would recommend for a child's backpack.
Anybody other than
Chuck
mine.
Norris.
So,
Get in here.
see some microphone. That's a subject.
Hang on. That's a good subject. I don't deal with body armor.
Yeah. So,
Oh, you have to jump on it.
there we go. So, body armor for children in a school child's backpack.
You're prettier than I am, Randy.
In the body armor community, that's a sensitive subject, and it is for multiple reasons. This goes back to when I talked about body armor being a life support system, and you treat it as a life support system. Children generally throw their backpacks around like freaking baseball bats. I mean, they sit on them, they stand on them, they throw them all over the place. So it's a difficult subject as an armor manufacturer to say, yeah, here, put my piece of armor in your child's backpack, because especially if it's hard armor and if it gets broken, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? If it's dropped repeatedly for 6 semesters of school and then that one day it's needed, it's got cracks in it. You know, what's a alternative? Probably would be soft armor, because soft armor is pliable and it's still handgun rated. Is it going to stop a rifle round? No, but it's a lot more pliable and a lot more forgiving when it comes to being dropped. That might not be the answer you want to hear, and there are some armor manufacturers that will sell you armor for your children. That's up to them. And another thing on children is that anything to do with children is a liability. For a while, about a month, we offered baby carriers, tactical baby carriers, just because I made some for friends who newborns wanted to have, multicam carriers, etc. And we marketed it and we sold it for about a month. And then we got called by somebody with a child protection agency and said, yeah, let's see your label on the inside of this, because if it's not about 10 inches long, you better stop selling it. And anything to do with children, if the parent undoes a buckle, the kid falls out, it's your fault because you made it, you're getting sued. Amplify that by 10 for armor in a backpack. Whoa. Now, if you're a parent and you want to protect your child, I would say buy some soft armor that's cut, similar to your child's backpack, and go with that. But ultimately, it's up to you. There might be some, hate mail in the comments on this one, but that's a sensitive subject.
Well, you'd know, man. So
yeah.
Do what he says, because he's been there, done that. I would take his advice on that.
Yeah, so Sharon Bostock around here, they want kids to have clear backpacks. So it might be a non-issue or even a non-starter if your child's in a school that requires a clear bag. There's a lot of factors that go on there. So,
are they doing that here in Montgomery County?
I don't have kids. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Whoa.
Maybe some that don't speak English and can't get visas. But. Let's see. Yep. There you go. Does that answer the question, hopefully?
Yeah.
Probably not what some people wanted to hear, but that's my opinion on it.
I hope so, because I'm reading the stuff on the side of the screen and I can't see where you've asked any more stuff about it. Shannon.
So what's the knife guy's name? Is Kim Breed? Ben Smith, okay, it's Sharon Green.
We need to get. Hey.
What comes down to lawyer, homeschool,
Ray.
And yep, 3A panel cut to the backpack and teach them to get the hell out of Dodge. Yep.
Got it.
Darian, right? Yep.
Darian.
Oh, you just stepped outside.
Darian. Hey, Ray Hodges from Red River Tactical Holsters. I'm going to get his partner that works with him. You guys have seen my ugly face 1,000 times, man. I'm going to get him so that you guys can ask him questions. He's got some really cool stuff that he just showed me about angling your magazines, your holsters, and his smoking thing, whatever they call that thing.
Yeah, it's called a vape mod carrier, but
I'm going to get his partner, and I'm going to let him talk, and you guys ask him questions. I hope it comes up on the screen here.
All right, guys, how you doing? I'm Ray with Red River Tactical. I'm here tonight on Tactical Rifleman. If you guys have any questions about our holsters, ordering, let me know. I'll see them here, and I'll do the best I can to answer your questions.
Did you shelf sit up there?
Hey guys, I'm Darion Marquis. It's a pleasure to meet all of y'all. I work with Ray here at Red River Tactical. We make holsters, sheaths, all kinds of fun accessories and stuff like that. And we're happy to answer some questions and give you guys the information that you want.
How's it going, Glennon?
We do indeed ship in Ziploc bags, but they're heavy-duty Ziploc bags, and it's more just to keep the fluids and stuff like that in transit away from the holsters and the stuff inside of the packages. I don't think that's 6.5 Creedmoor through weights for us. Big P, what's up?
Ah, okay, Howard. I can definitely check on that. Give me your email address, and we'll get back to you tomorrow.
We do not do leather holsters. We do kydex.
All right, appendix holster, Walther PPS M2. We do make holsters for the Walther PPS M2. We've got two options on our website, and our website's rrtholsters.com. And our two holster types for in the waistband for Walther PPS M2 are the Type 2 holster and the Type 2 holster V2. Go on our website, take a look at those. If you have any further questions about the holsters, or if you're running a light on it, shoot us an email, info@rrtholsters.com, and Amber will reply to you within 24 to 48 hours.
Awesome.
You guys can't type your email address. Okay. Well, shoot us an email, info@rrtholsters, and we will get back to you with the status update. We do have a pretty high workload going on right now, and we are pretty backlogged. We've had some department orders and some larger retailer orders that we had to get taken care of.
You made that nice knife case for Randy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, and we do make knife sheaths. We don't have those knife sheaths like visible on our website, but shoot us an email, send us a picture of your knife and what you're looking for in a knife sheath. There's a lot we can do as far as our knife sheath designs go.
Awesome. Steve stuck me on here to say hi to Jay. So Jay, God bless you, brother. You take care. And I'm going to get off here now. How's that clip? Gotcha. Thank you, sir. Sorry.
All right.
You're good.
I got on there and I said, hey, Steve stuck me on here to say hi to Jay.
If you Google AR-15 Kydex holster, you will see pictures of them. People have made them. Yes, that is our website, rrtholsters.com.
You can read right here, but look at up at the camera right here.
Okay. Oh, and if you guys want a promo code for tonight, for you guys that are watching, it's going to be Tactical Rifleman, all lowercase, one word, and that'll give you a 10% discount through the rest of the month.
Ruger Security 9.
All right, so we can do a Ruger Security 9 holster.
Look up at the camera.
With the light, as far as the Viridian light goes, you're gonna have to send that light in. Shoot us an email with that request, and we'll send you instructions on where to send that to and the process to go about ordering that holster.
They want to see your vape holster.
Ah, the vape holster. All right, guys. So this is a vape holster that I made for myself, and I'm utilizing what is called the Ulti-Link. This is the attachment lug that goes on the vape carrier itself, and this here is the Ulti-Link locking clip. Yeah, I can't really.
Come a little further back.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. All right, so this is how these two mate. I've got a 550 cord to pull that tab up to unlock it. So you pull that up, you'll mate them two together and push that back down, and that'll lock it in place. So I have a regular belt clip on there. Pull up on it, you can take it off, and then index it at an angle if you want.
Yep, adjust the angle of it.
We're going to become an UltiClip dealer. We were communicating with UltiClip here earlier this week, and we're going to actually start carrying their stuff. So we'll have these UltiClips available. We're probably going to do some a new mag carrier design that'll utilize the UltiClip as well as knife sheaths.
That's an interesting setup to make leather so rigid. That's pretty rad.
All right, what else we got here? PSA Dagger. We can make holsters for the PSA Dagger. Depending on the light, we can support pretty much all the stream lights. A lot of the Surefire lights and O lights, and also the Enforce APL lights. If you got those, we don't have any light-bearing holster models listed on the website for the PSA Dagger, but we can do them as a custom configuration. Shoot us an email, info@rrtholsters.com with that request, and we'll get back to you on how to order it. Yeah, we've been dealing with a pretty good backlog for a little while now, and we are working on some improvements to speed up and streamline that.